Hello everyone. Our lesson today is about irrational numbers. But before we study the irrational numbers, you have to remember the rational numbers. What's meant by rational? Rational numbers. Rational, we have to remember rational numbers. What are the rational numbers? Rational numbers, any number can be written in the form A over B, like whole numbers 1 or 2 or 3, and the negative whole number like negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3, and 0. Remember that 0 is not positive, neither positive nor negative. 0, neither positive number nor negative number. All of these numbers are called whole numbers. 1, 2, 3, all the positive whole numbers and all the negative whole numbers, and 0, which neither positive nor negative. Okay, all of these numbers are called integers. Integers, all the positive whole numbers and all the negative whole numbers, and 0. Okay, if we add the fractions, all or the decimals like 1 over 2, 3 over 4, 0.5, all of these numbers are called rational numbers. Rational numbers, all the integers, all the fraction, all the decimals. Okay, what about the square root of 9, which equals 3, an integer? What about the cube root of 8, which equals 2, or cube root of negative 8, which equals negative 2? All of these numbers are called rational. That means rational contains all the integers, all the fraction, all the decimal, and the square root of square numbers, and the cube root of the cube numbers. All of these numbers are called rational numbers. Again, rational numbers contain integers, contain fractions, contain the square root of the square number and the cube root of the cube number, and the decimal and the fraction. All of these numbers are called rational numbers. But our lesson today is about an irrational number. Now, what's meant by the irrational number? As I said, square root of 9 equals 3, cube root of 8 equals 2. All of these numbers rational or are rational number. What about square root of 5? Number like this one. Square root of 5. Is there a number multiplied by itself equals 5? Of course, no. Okay, so this number is called irrational. If you find a number multiplied by itself equals 5, so we can say square root of 5 is rational. But if you don't find a number multiplied by itself equals 5, this number, square root of 5, is called irrational number. Like if I ask you about the square root of 25, is there answer for this question? Square root of 25, yes, equals 5 or negative 5. Okay, there is answer for this question. But if I ask you about the square root of 7, is there a number multiplied by itself equals 7? Of course, no. So this number is called an irrational number. So irrational numbers are the square roots of non-square number and the cube root of non-cube number. If I ask you about which of these numbers are irrational, like this one, square root of 9, equals 3. So square root of 9 is rational. A square root of 19. There is no number multiplied by itself equals 19. So this number is called an irrational number. The square root of 39. 39 is not a square number. So square root of 39 is called an irrational number. The square root of 49. If you get the square root of a square number, so the number will be rational. Rational. Square root of 49 equals 7. So square root of 49 is a rational number. Square root of 99. Is there a number multiplied by itself equals 99? Of course, no. So square root of 99 is called an irrational number. The same idea, square root of 1 equals 1. It will be rational. 7 and 5 over 12. This number is mixed number. All the fractions are rational numbers. 7 and 5 over 12 is one kind of the fraction. It's called mixed number. Mixed number is a fraction, so it will be rational number. Negative 38, negative whole number. This number integer. All the integers are rational numbers. So this number is rational, and this one and this one. A square root of 160. 160 is not a square number. So if you get a square root of non-square number, it will be irrational. This one. Negative square root of 2.25. Remember that 2.25 the same as 225 over 100. Keep the negative, and square root of 225 equals 15, square root of 100 equals 10, so this number will be negative 1.5. So this number is rational number. Negative square root of 35. 35 is not a square number, so its square root is irrational. Negative square root of 35 is a irrational number. Remember, the irrational numbers is square root of non-perfect square and cube root of non-perfect cube. Pi is irrational number, by which we use to get the area of the circle or the circumference of the circle. Pi is an irrational number. Look, pi is not a recurring decimal. This non-terminating decimal. Non-terminating means an infinite number of decimals. There is no end. 3.1415925 and so on. Okay? This decimal, non-repeating 141592, non-repeating. There is no pattern for these numbers. Okay? Non-repeating and an infinite. So it's irrational number. Irrational number represented by decimal and infinite. Decimal like this has no end, okay, and there is no pattern or repeating decimal. If you get 1 over 3 like this one, 1 over 3, use your calculator, it will be like this. And infinite, but repeating. So this one rational. This decimal is called recurring. All the recurring decimal is all the recurring decimals are rational. If the decimal has a pattern for repeating and an infinite like this one, it will be rational number. But if the decimal like this has no pattern, non-repeating decimal, and infinite like this one, it will be a irrational number. Irrational also square root of non-perfect square like this 1 square root of 2. 2 is non-perfect square number, so its square root is irrational number. Square root of 3, there is no number multiplied by itself equals 3. Square root of 3 is irrational, square root of 5, square root of 10, and so on. Identify which of the following numbers are irrational. 5. 5 whole number, so it will be irrational. Root 7 or square root 7. Square root 7 is irrational because 7 is not square number. 3 over 4 fraction. All the fractions are rational. Pi. Remember, pi is irrational number. Square root of 25 equals 5. 5 will be rational. Negative 6.2. All the decimals, all the fractions, all the integers, all of these numbers are called rational numbers. 3.14. If I write 3.14 like this one, not pi. This one is not pi. This finite decimal, 3.14. This one is rational number. This one is not a pi. It's not like this one. This one finite. This one an infinite. Okay? 3.14 rational. Square root of 12 irrational because 12 is not square number. We can use this idea with the cube root. Cube root of 10. 10 is not cube number. There is no number multiplied by itself 3 times to get 10. So cube root of 10 is irrational number. We can name these numbers or irrational numbers third. Like this one, third. Third means irrational number. Practice. Circle has a radius of 5. Calculate its area, leaving your answer in terms of pi. Pi is irrational. To get the area of the circle, you have to remember this rule, pi r squared. If you know the radius, it will be easy to get the area or the circumference. Calculate the area by r squared. That means 5 power 2 multiplied by 5 power 2 equals 25. It will be 25 pi. Find the length of the hypotenuse of right angle triangle with shorter sides of length 3 centimeter and 4 centimeter. Is this length rational or irrational? To get the hypotenuse, you have to remember Pythagorean theorem. If you have this one 4 and this one 3, to get this one, you have to make square root 4 power 2 plus 3 power 2. It will be square root of 25. Square root of 25 equals 5. This number is rational number. If you want to get the value of an irrational number like square root of 40, first put square root of 40 or put the irrational number between two rational numbers. How can you get this one? Square root of 40 between square root, what is the number smaller than 40 and has square root? The number smaller than 40 and has square root or square number will be 36. A number greater than 40 and the square number, to get square root to this number, it will be 49. Square root of 40 between the square root of 36 and square root of 49. That means square root of 40 between 6 and 7. Square root of 40. This irrational number, its value lies between two rational numbers, 6 and 7. But 40 nearest to 36 or 49. 40 is nearest to 36. Okay? So maybe square root of 40 approximately equals 6.3. Okay? If it lies on the middle between 6 and 7, like the square root of 42. Square root of 42 approximately equals in the middle way between square root of 36 and square root of 49. So it will be approximately equals 6.5. But 40 nearest to 6. Okay? So its value approximately equals 6.3, maybe 6.4, 6.2, but don't reach to the middle. Don't reach to the middle, 6.5. It will be 6.3 or 6.4. Right, 6.3. Another one. So get the value of square root of like 10, square root of 10. Put this irrational number between two rational numbers. Get number smaller than 10 and has a square root, and the number greater than 10 and has a square root. What is the square number smaller than 10? It will be 9. Square root of 9. Square root of 10 between square root of 9 and square root of 16. Okay? Square root of 9 equals 3. The square root of 16 equals 4. So, square root of 10 between 3 and 4. But 10 nearest to what? To 9 or to 16? 10 is nearest to 9. So, I can write square root of 10 approximately equals 3.1 or 3.2. Okay? The same idea. Draw a ring around the number that's nearest in value to square root of 74. What is the nearest number to 74 and has square root? Think about the number or square number nearest to 74. There is 81, square root of 81 equals 9, and before 74 there is 64. 64, square root of 64 equals 8. That means square root of 74 between square root of 64 and square root of 81. Okay? Square root of 74, square root of 64 equals 8, and square root of 81 equals 9. But 74 nearest to what number? 64, which number is nearest to 74? 64 or 81? Between 74 and 81, 7. Okay? Between 64 and 74, 10. So, square root of 74 is nearest to square root of 81. So, it will be after the middle way between 8 and 9, after the middle, greater than 8.5 because it nearest to 81. Greater than 8.5, it will be 8 point, approximately equals 8.6 or 8.7. The nearest one, 8.6. So, to draw a ring around the number that's nearest to the value in value to the square root of 74, it will be 8.6. Number between 5 and 6. Okay? 5 square root of what number? Square root of 25. 6 square root of what number? Square root of 36. So this number will be greater than square root of 25 but smaller than square root of 36. And take care this number between 5 and 6, but before the middle way, between 5 and 6. If you choose this number, square root of 35 will lie in this one, in this area, square root of 35 here. Square root of 35 lies here, before, directly before 6, or before square root of 36. Square root of 22 before square root of 25. The same with square root of 11. So this number will be square root of 30. Square root of 30 before the middle way between 5 and 6. Okay? But square root of 35 nearest to the square root of 36. And draw a ring around the statement that's true. 3, square root 7, 4. Square root 7, here he says that square root 7 greater than 3 and smaller than 4. 3, it will be square root of 9. 4, square root of 16. Is 7 lies between 6 and 9 and 16? Of course, no. This one, false. This one, square root of 16 equals 4 and square root of 25 equals 5. 18 between 16 and 25, right. This statement is true because square root of 18 between or greater than square root of 16 and square root of 25. This one, 5 square root of 25, 6 square root of 36 is, or does the square root of 36 lie between square root of 25 and square root of 36? Of course, no. Square root of 36 equals square root of 36. Not less than square root of 36 is the same. This statement is not true. Square root of 50, square root of 36 equals 6, and square root of 49 equals 7. Is square root of 50 between square root of 36 and square root of 49? Of course, no. Square root of 50 greater than square root of 49. Look at the numbers in the box. Draw a ring around all irrational numbers. Pi is irrational number. Remember, pi irrational. 2 over 5 fraction. And as I said, all the fractions are rational. All the decimals are rational. Cube root of 8 equals 2. 8 is cube number, so it has a cube root. If you find the cube root or the answer of the square root or the cube root, it will be rational. If you don't find the answer, it will be an irrational number. This number is rational. It has an answer. This number, square root of 8, 8 is cube number, is not a square number. Square root of 8, irrational. You can't find the answer of a square root of 8. 1.5 recurring, this rational, this number rational. 1.5 recurring, like this one, 1.5, 5, 5, 5, etc. It will be rational. All the recurring rational, all the recurring decimals are rational numbers. Write number in the box. Square root of 71. Square root of 71 equals whole number 0.426. Square root of 71, to get this value, you have to put this irrational number between two rational numbers. What is the square number smaller than 71? It will be 64. And greater than 71, it will be 81. So, square root of 71 between 8 and 9. So, this number will be 8. 8.426, because The distance between 64 and 71 is 7, but the distance between 71 and 81 is 10. So square root of 71 is nearest to square root of 64, but not in the middle way. Okay? So it will be 8.426 and so on. Rational number, square root of 2, the square root of 2, irrational because 2 is not square number, is not square number. So this number irrational. We want to put a ring around the rational. This one irrational. This one irrational. Square root of 4 equals 2. Rational. Rational number. This one rational. This irrational. This one equals 2 rational. Square root of 6 irrational. Square root of 8 irrational because 8 is not square number. Draw a ring around each of the two irrational numbers. 3.4 decimal. All the decimals are rational. Square root of 5, square root of non-perfect square. This one irrational. Square root of 16 equals 4 by irrational. 12 rational because it's a whole number. 1/3 rational because it's fraction. Square root of 74, give your answer. This paper 2, you can use your calculator. Write on the calculator square root, the sign of the square root on your calculator, and put 74 below the square root. It will be 8.6, 8.6023, and so on. Okay? 0 doesn't increase 6 by 1. Leave it 8.6 because he needs one decimal place. It will be 8.6. You can use your calculator. This question on paper 2. Use the number in the box to complete the sentence. What and what rational and what irrational. Here 19/6 rational because it's a fraction. And what? And the 8.2 equals 64 whole number. It will be rational. But square root of 19 is square root to non-square number, and by these two numbers are irrational numbers, but these two numbers are rational numbers because fraction and whole number. Calculate square root of 54 divided by square root of 6. You can use your calculator and you can put the square root and divide 54 by 6. 54 divided by 6, it will be 9. Square root of 9 equals 3. Take care. You can divide or multiply two irrational numbers and get rational number. Okay? Like this one. We divide an irrational by an irrational and we get rational. To divide or multiply irrational numbers by the same root, keep the same root and divide or multiply the numbers below the roots. Like this one, I kept the square root and divide 54 by 6, which equals 9, and square root of 9 equals 3. Draw a ring around each of the rational numbers. Rational, not irrational, rational. This one rational, 22/7, because it's a fraction. The square root of 8,100. Square root of 8,100. 8,100 means 81 multiply 100. You can get the square root of 81, which equals 9, and square root of 100, which equals 9. This one rational. Why irrational? Because you can find the answer of this question. 7. Whole number, it will be irrational, but the square root of 7 is irrational. Cube root of 8 equals 2. Rational. Rational. Cube root of 8 rational. That means this one rational, this one rational, this one rational, this one rational. The only one which is not rational or irrational, this one, irrational. Irrational because it's square root of non-square number. Venn diagram like this one. Natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Integers, whole number, whole positive numbers, or negative whole numbers, or zero. Rational, fraction, decimal, integers, and so on. Write each of these numbers in the correct part of the Venn diagram. One has been done for you. Negative 7. Okay? 12. 12 whole number. You can put it here in natural numbers. On the natural numbers, put 12. 12 here. The square root of 36 equals 6. And 6 is whole number. On the natural numbers, put all the positive numbers. Put the positive numbers here. But the negative outside the natural, but inside the integers. Okay? The fraction and decimal, which doesn't equals whole number, put it in the rational or on the rational numbers. Like negative 7, because it's negative, put it on the integers. 12 positive, put it natural. Square root of 36 equals 6. 6 is positive number. Put it here on the natural. 4.7, not whole. Not whole, so put it outside the integers but inside the rational. Negative 55 over 11, it's the simplest, equals negative 5. This negative number, negative 5, put it in the integers because it's negative. Negative 2 over 3, fraction, not whole. Fraction and not whole, put it on the rational. Okay? If you have whole number, positive whole number, put it on the natural numbers. If you have whole number but negative, put it on the integers. If you have fraction or decimal and the not whole, put it on the rational numbers. Rational, irrational, prime, odd, square. Root 3 and root 5 are examples of irrational numbers. It's all about our lesson today, the irrational number. See you on the next lesson.